If you have been debating between condo or co-op, then this is the video for you. Welcome back, welcome home. My name's Justin, your local Bronx real estate agent. And if you're a first-time viewer and you want to keep getting weekly information on the home selling process or home buying advice, be sure to slam that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you don't miss anything. With that being said, today we are discussing the difference between condos and co-ops so you can decide which one makes the most sense for you. Stay tuned to the end. You know I got a bonus at the end for you. When it comes to buying a condo or a co-op, the first thing people usually think about is the board, specifically the co-op board interview. So yes, when you're buying a co-op, there's a board interview. Treat it like a job interview because it's basically the same thing. With a condo, you don't have to go through an actual interview. Yes, there is a board application package that you'll be submitting, but that's really just making sure you check off all the boxes. For the co-op board, they're interviewing you. Unless you're buying a sponsor unit, and that way you can basically go around the co-op board and not have to be interviewed by them. Otherwise, get ready. Another thing when it comes to a condo or a co-op is that a co-op board tends to put in strict financial standards that you will have to meet in order to be able to purchase a unit. What do we mean by that? Well, they have their own down payment requirement, separate from whatever the bank is telling you you need to qualify for a loan. Condos typically don't do that, right? If the bank says, hey, we can qualify you for 5%, 10%, the condo's like, okay, that's good. Besides the down payment, co-ops will also have in place requirements typically for your debt to income ratio, your credit score, and your reserve requirement. Now, these three things are standards that banks are using anyway. It's just that the co-op raises the bar to make it a little bit tougher. You know, condos can have these standards in place and they can be stricter than a bank, but for the most part, the co-op is going to be strict and the condo is kind of going to go with whatever the bank says. Now, to make it seem like I'm not just going all out against co-ops, let me say that condos tend to be more expensive than co-ops. If we're talking about New York here, which you know we are, this is about supply and demand. We have a lot more co-ops in our market than condos. That's just a fact. Also, the financing for condos is easier in general than for co-ops, so more people can qualify to buy a condo versus buying a co-op. So you're increasing your buyer pool. Condos may also be investor friendly, whereas co-ops will not be. So now we have investors being added to the buyer pool for condos, right? And then some people are just warded off by the co-op application process and they want to go with a condo process because it's a little more straightforward. So you add all these things up and there's some other factors we can throw in there. The value of condos compared to co-ops is pretty high. In terms of owning a condo or co-op, let's go through the difference. So when it comes to a condo, you are buying a private residence, right? A physical unit in a multi-unit complex, and you will also have some ownership of the common property. With a co-op, you are buying shares or an interest in a corporation. Those shares will allow you to use a specific unit. You will get a contract or a lease to use a specific unit, but you do not directly own that specific unit. So now we're talking about different forms of ownership. I don't want to drag you down the rabbit hole here. Another thing people are often thinking about is subletting. When it comes to a co-op, they tend to be very restrictive, right? So they might not allow you to sublet, or you might have to wait a certain amount of years before you can do so. Even once you're able to sublet, it's typically only for a limited amount of time. A lot of co-ops I see will allow you to sublet for 2 years, and then they'll give you an option, maybe under special circumstances, to sublet for a 3rd year. And then after that, they want you back in the unit. Condos, depending on the complex, might allow you to sublet indefinitely. So this is why a lot of investors will look at condos and they'll own them, but rent them out and they'll never live there themselves. So it's a big difference. When it comes to selling a co-op, just like you had to go through the board approval process, the new buyer for your unit will have to go through the board approval process. They're gonna sit for the interview, submit all their paperwork, they gotta meet all the financial requirements. In terms of the condo, you know, the condo board has the right of first refusal, so they have the right to purchase your unit first before anyone else. However, if they waive that right, which often happens, then you're able to sell on the open market and you can secure a ready, willing, and able buyer. Last thing when it comes to selling a co-op is you will pay a flip tax. Now, this is not a tax, but a transfer fee that the co-op is charging you for selling your shares in the corporation. The flip tax, you can check out the video down in the comments and descriptions below. Right. With a condo, there's no flip tax. Now, if you're thinking about condo or co-op, you know I got that bonus for you. So if you use the link down in the comments and descriptions below, you can get a free guide on how to buy a co-op, step by step, very detailed, or you can get a guide on the home buying process, which will cover you for condos. Of course, if you have questions about anything, drop them in the comments below. Also, the next video popping up here is about maintenance fees. So whether you're going condo or co-op, you're gonna have maintenance fees. So I encourage you to check that out. Of course, sharing is caring. So if you know anyone that can benefit from this video, please pass it on to them. And lastly, make sure to slam that subscribe button, folks, so you can keep getting the real on real estate. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.